I'm going to be the one to say it. As a woman, I'm not having kids because a man want me to have kids. Simple as that. So stop asking me. I don't give a about a time clock. I'm not on your time. As a man, respectfully, I'm on God's time.
And personally, I just feel like bad bitches should make $20,000 an hour just for being bad.
You pressed over a that lied to your face, then you seen the club with other and you still tripping over this.
Black women gatekeep their exes like vote codes. Please. White women are more likely to recycle their exes, meaning they'll share and pass along their exes once they're done to their friend group. Whereas in Black culture, once a woman has dated or slept with a man, he's completely off limits to her friends.
Can the moms of Black boys please stop messing it up for my Black daughter? You guys are ruining the assignment, and it's really unfortunate how so many Black women are raising sons that hate Black women.
She said most Black Americans have clean and cheerful hearts. Yes!
House cleaning before we get started. For those who are rocking with me from day one, I appreciate the support. For those who may be new here, coming in out the door for your boy, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, get it cracking in the comments. Don't forget to hit the notification bell. Every bit of your engagement absolutely helps promote your boy into the YouTube algorithm. I thank y'all for the support. Now, let's get to it. Drop the video. Let's go.
I'm going to be the one to say it. As a woman, I'm not having kids because a man want me to have kids. Simple as that. So stop asking me. I don't give a fuck about a time clock. I'm not on your time. As a man, respectfully, I'm on God's time. You're not God. That's where some of y'all fail to realize that some of y'all think that y'all are God. That's the difference. God creates the timeline for each individual life on this earth, not you. So if this God create the timeline for every life, that means that he created the timeline of the life that you create as well. So therefore, I will not and shall not have a child because a man-made man, said so. I'm on God's timing, honey. Anytime a man say, oh, you on the time, I'm on God's time. Don't talk to me about a timeline. You don't know what God got in store for me, honey. God been telling me that you shall not procreate with a loser or a lame. Been telling me that. So guess what? I clink, kept my legs closed, been on an abstinence journey, been focused on building myself, getting through milestones and stages, actually getting that development in. People be skipping these steps. Because you got to understand, the man that once said things for me is going to be my husband. It's going to have put my feet up. Going to be rubbing my feet. Going to put me in a position where I ain't got to worry about nothing. I can actually fulfill my duties as a mother for real. Because he's a father. He's a husband. What are we talking about here? Y'all love seeing the typical baby mama story timeline. The shit is dragged. The shit is old. Everybody don't want to live that life. And I don't want it for me, so I'm not even going to put myself in that position. God knows what's for me. That's why we've been on this journey. You can't speak for God. Now, God got workers, but you're not one of them. If you're coming to me talking to me about kids and it ain't no marriage, God didn't send you. If you sitting up here talking about sleeping with me, having kids with me, or doing any of those things, God didn't send you over here to tell me that. So you think I'm finna listen to you? Thank you.
She could have ended this diatribe a long time ago by simply saying she's not going to have any children with any man that isn't her husband, which I completely and totally agree. She shouldn't have any children outside of wedlock. But come on, man, this long of a diatribe to gain engagement because your content is taking a dive because people realize you're a grifter. Did God have anything to do with all of the bopping you were doing on Instagram? I get it. You're virtue signaling, right? You know misandrists would flock to this content by having this inflammatory language. I ain't gonna have no baby by no man because he tell me so. You shouldn't have a baby by anyone that isn't your husband. And you shouldn't be entertaining any man without intent. So any man, any lame or loser that comes to you talking like this, you should avoid anyhow. And I have a better question. Why are these type of men actually coming up to you trying to qualify you for whatever they're trying to get you into, a situationship, hookup, or whatever? What vibes are you sending off? Ah, you know the reason you're having these type of men that approach you in this manner is because you bopped and thought it up on Instagram, and you even admitted you were only doing it for attention and clicks and views, and to get your followership up to, get enough following so you can have these endorsements. See, that video you took down, I saw that video. I wish I would have clipped it a couple of years ago, but we all know this is cap. We all know you're an opportunist and you're just looking for clicks, views, and engagement. Stop the nonsense. All you could have said was, I'm not having any children for a man who isn't my husband. But you knew the misandrous and the effinists, I should say, would flock to this in droves. And they did. You got the engagement and the viewership you were looking for from this inflammatory content, but it's not doing any good. It's not going to do you any good in the long run because you can grift to whatever content you like, but it's still going to be a reflection of who you are, an opportunist.
And personally, I just feel like bad bitches should make $20,000 an hour just for being bad bitches. This is hard. I can't be doing this for free. This is crazy. Like, my coworkers don't deserve to see this for free. Like, what?
Unfortunately, you don't know any bad bees, including yourself. Look, I get it. Sometimes people make content that's self-aggrandizing. I get it, but come on, man. Y'all got to stop this. What's going on with your lips? Look, I'm not going to drag her. I'm not going to say she's even unattractive, but I think she has an overinflated sense of self, and she has some weird thing going on with her lips. I don't know if her lips are that big naturally, or she did something to them, or that gloss and that eyeliner she has around her mouth is making her look weird. But you gotta start checking with people who love you before you post content. I tell y'all this all the time because some of y'all are looking outrageously foolish, and this is one of those examples.
You pressed over a nigga that lied to your face, then you seen the nigga in the club with other bitches, and you still tripping over this nigga? Like you ain't see him in the section with a bunch of white hoes? Man, have some fucking self-respect.
You have a choice. You can either stay or you can leave. Now, I'm of the particular mind to keep people out of your business, in particular your relationship business, because a lot of times you're dumping trauma on people just to vent, and you're not going anywhere. So I don't see the point of bringing other people into your relationship when you know you're not ready to leave. I get it. Sometimes people have emotional baggage they need to dump, but dump it on a therapist or dump it on God. But stop bringing other people into your relationship, especially when you know you're not going to leave that person. You know you're not going to leave that person despite the advice people may be giving you. The only time I think you should seek outside help in a relationship if it's in an abusive relationship or there's something going on that you really need to escape from. Other than that, all this trauma dumping y'all keep doing on to your friends and your family members, y'all need to stop. Y'all know who these people are when you entertain them in a relationship. You know the red flags, you ignore them. You get into a relationship, you emotionally bond with this person through having relations, and then surprise, surprise, you're going through constant dysfunction and trauma with this person that you shouldn't have been with to start. Y'all have got to stop doing this. It's not worth the headache. People in your interpersonal relationships are sick of you trauma dumping your relationship on them. Stop.
She said most Black Americans have clean and cheerful heart. Yes! Yes! They are the most sweetest, kindest, adorable guys I've ever met in my entire life. Black Americans are the best.
Look, I don't agree or disagree with her. I think this is a bit of pandering. At the end of the day, she spoke about Black American men. Do I think that Black American men are good? Sure. Do I think some of us are bad? Sure. But that's any racial group. You have good and bad white men, good and bad Asian men, good and bad Arab men, good and bad East Indian men. It doesn't matter. You can have bad apples in any racial group. Now, she clearly rocks with Black men, and I have no problem with that. Hey, this is a free country. You can date, see whoever you want, but I'm just not going to buy into pandering. Like, we get enough of this on social media where black people invite everybody to the cookout because someone pandered to us. And I don't know if this is what she's doing, but it appears that way to me. Let me say this. If an outside person can see the value in black American men, then black American women shouldn't have an issue seeing value in black American men. The problem that we have in the black community is we're at odds with one another because of the gender war. We're constantly at odds. And we have to find some common ground to get back to the business of creating community. And black men and both black men and black women have to learn to get along. We have to get along, I should say. We have to move past the things that trip us up. A lot of us come from trauma. We're raised in dysfunctional households. You don't have good examples of masculinity growing up, and sometimes, most of the times, you don't have good examples of femininity growing up. But as an adult, you have to learn to reconcile your dysfunction, go get therapy, move past it, and learn how to build community. Learn how to start taking family and marriage serious. Start partnering up with people that match your values, morals, and your outlook. And that way, we don't have outsiders coming in celebrating us through pandering because we wouldn't need it, because we'll know that we are valuable within ourselves. Both black men and black women, stop allowing people to pander to you because you have insecurities and you have trauma that you haven't reconciled. That's all I'm telling y'all.
Black women gatekeep their exes like vote codes. Please, white women are more likely to recycle their exes, meaning they'll share and pass along their exes once they're done to their friend group. Whereas in black culture, once a woman has dated or slept with a man, he's completely off limits to her friends. The truth is, though, black women have the lowest marriage rate in the United States among women that are 25 and up. The lowest. Only 25% of black women are married compared to 51% of white women. And according to those statistics, black women are more than likely to remain single. Let's be honest. Amongst black women, there is a scarcity in qualified partners, particularly amongst high-achieving black women, especially for men who are financially stable, educated, emotionally intelligent, and not colorist or misogynistic. In black culture, romantic and sexual exclusivity often carries high social and emotional values. Dating or sleeping with the same man can be a little cringy, has a particular stigma, and we tend to place a much stronger emphasis on relationship loyalty. No messing with my ex, no talking to my ex, no being friends with my ex. Are we for real? In contrast, white social circles, especially amongst the liberals, college-educated, upper middle class of white women, they approach dating far more casually and understand that it's a bit more transactional, separating sex from long-term attachment. Let's talk about Sex and the City versus Insecure. Do you think Samantha would have given a shit if she had a relationship with Mr. Big before Carrie got to him? Miranda would have cared. Now imagine Insecure. Imagine Issa and Molly. How many episodes we would have gotten over their friendship being ruined because Molly dated Issa's ex? Black shows will always and often depict deep ruptures in friendships over a man. So this means refusing to date recycled men leads to less black women being married, particularly if we're only sticking to one dating group. I'm done.
So let me get this straight. Your solution to black women's low marriage rates is to sleep with and deal with the same men in your friend group. How's that going to work out for you? This is my problem with this type of mentality from this type of person. You want to emulate and covet white women or white social structures so much that you want to take on even their bad habits. Do you think promiscuity and sharing men in the same friend group is a positive attribute to have? Because I got news for you. White women aren't doing that well when it comes to dating and marriage themselves. But this is the problem I have with people like her. You covet white society so much that you're willing to emulate bad habits from whites. Haven't we done that enough? Haven't we accepted their programming so much so we've destroyed our community? And yet you found another facet of their debaucherous culture you want to take in. You want to sleep with your friends' exes. You want to have relationships with men your friends have already had relationships with. You're a debaucherous dirtbag. You do realize we live on planet Earth, and in particular in America, where there are millions upon millions of eligible men you can date without having to date ones your friends have already dated or been in relationships with. You're just lazy. You're lazy and trifling. You don't want to go out here and find men of your own volition. You don't want to vet and court and date men with intent to find a good one. So this is why you hold on to these debunked narratives that there aren't a lot of qualified men for black women to date. Yes, there are. You just don't find them attractive. And that's the point. Y'all don't want to change what you find attractive. So now, which I have a shocking news for you, black women already share the same small group of men. Now you want to make that group even smaller by dating men that your friends carry on with? You demon. This is the problem I have with a lot of y'all. Y'all just thrive in degeneracy and debauchery, and you make these asinine posts as if you're doing something virtuous. You're not. You're a demon. Girl, go find somebody to date other than men your friends have already dealt with. Crazy ass.
The moms of black boys, please stop messing it up for my black daughter. You guys are ruining the assignment, and it's really unfortunate how so many black women are raising sons that hate black women. There's a TikTok trend that my daughter just sent to me, and it's basically like one slide of a picture of a young black male, teenagers, and it says, "You look just like my type" on the first slide. And then the next slide, it lists like the physical attributes that they're looking for in a girl. And the number of these posts that she sent me where black boys are professing that they want a snow bunny, that a snow bunny is their type, is disgusting, disturbing, and honestly very frustrating. I had to go into the full spiel with my 14-year-old daughter of the politics of dating and how some groups decide to date in other groups, not because of a true desire to do so, but because of a lack of desirability within their own group. It's a very, very deep and nuanced conversation, but can we please stop raising black boys that hate black women? Because it starts very young and it's pretty scary.
Can you stop raising black boys to put their hands over their eyes and not see what's going on social media? Is that what you want us to do? To stop raising our boys to pay attention to what black women on social media are actually saying? We have the same access to social media y'all do. So all the misandrists, all the effinists online that spew hatred day after day, week after week, month after month, year after year about black men, you didn't think those chickens would come home to roost? You think mothers are actively raising their sons to despise women that look like them? Or are these young boys going out into the world and seeing what's actually going on? Their values, their outlook on life don't match young black girls' values and their outlook on life, because a lot of times these poor, innocent girls are raised with finesse culture, 304 culture, transactional relationships perspectives from their mothers, by the way, which I see you have no smoke for their mothers who are raising them to be, S workers, escorts, to finesse men, to look at these young boys who are in the same broke situation they're in, like they're supposed to come in and provide them a luxury lifestyle at 17. You don't have any smoke for those women, but you have smoke for the boy moms who are just simply out here raising their sons. Maybe their sons are not even being raised to hate black women, because they're not. They're seeing the hate that these misandrists online, on social media in particular, TikTok is one of the most notorious lanes for it, that these women loathe them, that they hate them, they don't like them. So hate creates hate. You get what you put out. If you constantly put out hate, and these young boys are seeing this, and they're realizing from the old heads, when they hear these stories, how they've been ran through the ringer by their wives or their girlfriends or women who they've been in committed relationships with, doing things like having 3 kids on this man that weren't his, cheating on men, using men for money, having men stored in their phone as foodie guys and the guy that pays the light bill and stuff like this. You're not seeing any of this stuff, huh? You're not seeing any of this stuff. And you don't think any of this negativity would have a profound effect on the dating relationships between young boys and young girls? You can't be serious. You cannot be this daft. Hate goes both ways, I should say. Hate can't come from one direction and not go back in the opposite direction. That's not how life works. Black women who've been traumatized from relationships by men who they pick get on social media and spew hatred at all men. They blanket all black men with the same hate. They don't make distinctions. So if they're not making distinctions, then why do you expect the opposite side to make distinctions? You want them to give you grace while those women aren't showing them grace or empathy. You cannot be serious. Y'all have got to learn this lesson. I'm going to say this to all of y'all. Y'all have got to learn this. What you put out comes back, and it may come back stronger. That's all I got, man. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, get it cracking in the comments. Don't forget to hit the notification bell. I'll see y'all in the credits. 2 fingers. Peace. I'm out of here. See y'all in the next one.
Black Jesus.